Hey everybody, it's Trags. Welcome to a special edition of Patriots Beat, episode 254 for Wednesday, July 18th on the CLNS Media Network. Find us at clnsmedia.com, on Twitter at clnsmedia, and also at Patriots CLNS, and find us on Facebook at facebook.com/CLNSmedia. Today, we speak to three former Patriots greats as Wes Welker, Rob Ninkovich, and Sebastian Vollmer visited Boston for the Leonard Hair Transplant Associates Young Fight Strong program at the Lifespan Cancer Institute in Providence, Rhode Island. All three Patriots are very satisfied clients of Chief Surgeon Dr. Matthew Lopresti with Robert Leonard Hair Transplant Associates. Welker, Ninkovich, and Vollmer participate in the celebrity bartending event at Del Frisco's Double Eagle Steakhouse in Boston, giving attendees the opportunity for one of these celebrities to mix, stir, or even shake their favorite cocktail. A charitable donation benefits the Young Fight Strong program, whose program director is Dr. Lopresti's wife, Dr. Mary Lopresti. The program serves young women 42 and under with breast or gynecological cancer, providing them with support during treatment and through survivorship. Donations will help provide child care for those women undergoing chemotherapy with young children. Well, my sincere pleasure to welcome Wes Welker to the set of CLNS Media here in Boston for a very worthwhile event. It's the Leonard Hair Transplant Associates charity bartending event to benefit the Young Fight Strong for the Lifespan Institute, Cancer Institute in Providence. Wes, why is that a big deal to you to help out these kids with moms fighting cancer?
Well, obviously, you know, those families are going through such hard times, and having the great relationship with Dr. Lopresti and Dr. Leonard, and Dr. Lopresti's wife, you know, being the head of that
Institute.
Yeah, the
right,
Institute.
And Young Fight Strong.
Right. You know, it's just a very cool event, and some we've done kind of over the years, and always enjoy coming back and being a part of it.
Coming back to Boston, what kind of feelings go through your mind?
Oh man, there's so many. You know,
I can imagine.
Just love being in the city and you know, kind of walking the streets and you know, especially this time of year.
Right.
You know, it's just such a beautiful place. I always said, you know, Boston, like 4 months out of the year, is like the best place ever.
Yeah, I mean, but you've played in a lot of cold weather here. Did the cold ever bother you as a receiver? Or a kick returner, for that matter?
Yeah, I mean, it did, but you almost have to take your mind to a different place. And, you know, I'm glad I don't have to go to that place anymore.
No, you are certainly in a warmer climate in Houston, working, of course, with Bill O'Brien, head coach down there. You're an assistant coach working with the special teams and the offense. And the other coach that I think people here in New England might be forgetting about is Brad Seeley. He had a great run here in New England. And obviously, you know, Brad Seeley is one of those special team coaches that we all know about, like Joe Judge, the current coach here in New England. Very intense, or how would you describe Brad?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, he's a great teacher, and, you know, he keeps it very simple and very direct to the players, and, you know, has a great energy about him, and I'm definitely learning a ton from him, you know, not only from when I played for him, but, you know, now coaching with him and really being able to pick his brain on exactly what he's thinking.
Was last year a culture shock to you? Last year was your first year there, right?
Yeah, it was. It was more just the learning of all my responsibilities.
Right?
Yeah, like
a year-long orientation.
You do that, and I'm like basically starting from ground zero with computers and everything else, and just having to figure it out. And it was like, here's a book, figure it out. And it was like, oh boy.
You're doing more offensively or special teams, or is it split
more
down?
Offensively. Yeah.
So what is that like? Your responsibilities with Billy O'Brien, what is that like?
Well, last year I was with the wide receivers, and this year I'm working with Tim Kelly, our tight end coach, with the tight ends, and just really want to learn the run game and the pass protections and, you know, all those things that you know, I think will be good for me down the road.
I'm sure you've heard this and heard this question a million times when you compare Billy O'Brien and Bill Belichick. And playing for them, now coaching for Billy,
right.
What's the difference? in their personalities?
Yeah, well, yeah, they're definitely different personalities, you know.
I mean, we can see that on the surface, but you know them on a totally different level.
Right, yeah. I mean, they're both very smart, you know, come from the same tree, look for the same type of players. You know, it's the same offense, same defense. You know, we have Rack there. It's our defensive coordinator. So it's a lot of it is very much the same. But, you know, Billy, you know, is his own man. And, you know, you pretty much get that from the get-go. But a great guy to work for and learn from and definitely learn a ton.
How do you think Mike Vrabel will do in Tennessee?
I think Mike will do well. You know, he's always been a smart player, one of the smartest players I ever played with. Really? And, you know, works extremely hard at it, really understands the game and understands all the little nicks and knacks of, especially at linebacker position that he played for so long, and then really understanding, like, offense and defense as a whole. And so the guys love him and, you know, got a lot of respect for him, and I think he'll do well.
I think there have been other coaches that have said this who have been former players who didn't get a Super Bowl ring as a player but still pursuing that ring as a coach, and it would mean in some players' estimation, just as much. How much would it mean to you to get a Super Bowl ring in Houston?
Yeah, I mean, it would be awesome, you know. I mean, that's why we're all here, you know. That's the ultimate goal, is to win a ring. So, you know, that's what we're all working towards.
What would it mean to be, you know, seeing the Patriots on opening day? What will that be like?
I'm excited about it. I think it'll be fun. I mean, there'll be a lot of adrenaline going through me for sure. Just for being the first game of the year and being here in New England, I'm looking forward to it. It'll be pretty cool.
How different is DeShaun Watson from Tom Brady? I mean, that sounds like an obvious question on the surface in their styles, but just the way they approach the game. I mean, you know, you've played with arguably the GOAT, greatest of all time, in Tom, and now you're watching DeShaun Watson, a spectacular talent. I mean, he single-handedly beat the Bengals right before he almost beat the Patriots.
Right. No, I mean, he's a great football player, and obviously does, you know, has a lot of the same type of mentality that, you know, Tom does, and wanting to win and compete and do all those things. And so it'll be exciting to see what happens this year.
Is there something about Tom that you think people don't know? I mean, so much has been written and said, and he himself is even on social media so much. But is there something about Tom that you don't think people appreciate? About his personality, about the way he approaches the game, the way he approaches life off the field?
I think of just, you know, how understated he is with, you know, who he is. You know, he's very understated with, you know, who he is. He, you know, doesn't like he'll brag in a joking manner, but, you know, he's never I don't know. He's
one of the hardest workers you've ever been around?
Oh, for sure.
No question.
Yeah, no doubt.
What about your image now? Dr. Lopresti, working with Dr. Lopresti and Dr. Leonard, what has that meant to you and your image on and off the football field?
Yeah, no, it's been great to have a relationship with Dr. Lopresti and Dr. Leonard, and you know, they're both such great individuals, and, you know, saved my hairline a while back, and it's still going strong. So, you know, it's been a great relationship that I've had, and give me an opportunity to come up here once a year and see some old friends and see Boston again.
You know, a lot of people joke about it, but it matters, right? I mean, image does matter. When you're an athlete, that's what you know, obviously have your performance, Wes.
Right.
But image is a big deal to any athlete.
For sure. Absolutely. You know, how you carry yourself, how you are on the field, how good your hairline is, it all runs together.
And in town is Wes Welker for a great cause. The Dr. Robert Leonard Hair Transplant Associates charity bartending event. It's a great cause to benefit Young Fight Strong for the Lifespan Cancer Institute in Providence, Rhode Island. Wes, thanks so much, and welcome back to town.
No, I appreciate it.
You bet.
Thanks.
Hey everyone, I want to tell you about a new wellness brand for men. It's called forhims.com. There's a problem out there. 66% of men lose their hair by the age of 35. Thing is, when you start to notice hair loss, it's too late. It's always easier to keep the hair you have than to replace the hair you've lost. Is that hairline slowly starting to move backwards? Any bald spots yet? How will you feel a year from now if it's business as usual up top? Well, there is a solution, forhims.com. It's a one-stop shop for hair loss, skin care, and sexual wellness for men. Thanks to science, baldness can now be optional. Hims connects you with real doctors and medical-grade solutions to treat hair loss. There's well-known generic equivalents to name-brand prescriptions to help you keep your hair. Order now. My listeners get a trial month of Hims for just $5 today, right now, while supplies last. See the website for full details. This would cost hundreds if you went to the doctor or a pharmacy. Go to forhims.com/trags. That's forhims.com/trags. forhims.com/trags. My pleasure to welcome Rob Ninkovich, former Patriots linebacker, to the set of CLNS Media. He is in town for a very, very worthwhile charity event. It's a charity bartending event sponsored by the Leonard Hair Transplant Associates. It's to benefit the Young Fight Strong at the Lifespan Cancer Institute in Providence. Rob, what does that mean to you to help kids who have, a mother fighting cancer?
Well, I mean, I think that Dr. Leonard has put this on for 5 years. I think this is the first year that the money's going towards that, which is it's an awesome cause. Being a football player in the Boston area, I've taken many trips to Boston Children's Hospital, and I've been to the hospital. So you see the impact that you're able to make, not only in their lives but like in my life, just to be able to help and use my name and help out the most that I can. So, I think it's an awesome event. I'm going to try and work on my bartending skills. Hopefully I don't mess up any drinks. The heavier the hand, the better the pour. So, no, it should be fun. We're going to have a good time, and I'm happy to be here.
You stole that line from Seabass. You know that, right? Because that's exactly...
Is that what he said?
That's exactly what
that's
he told
the beard.
us.
If you have a beard like this, I guess great beards think alike,
So, indeed. Any favorite drink, though, to mix?
Favorite drink? An old-fashioned. It's all about the bitters. You got to have
sour?
I'm not a big whiskey sour guy. I like an old-fashioned. You got to have the good bourbon. You got to have the bitters, good bitters. You do a little orange.
I go too sweet.
Go too sweet?
Yeah, Jack and Coke.
Okay,
whiskey
but
and
that's
Coke.
you got to go diet though.
Yeah.
Watch the weight.
See, I'm not.
It's the summertime. You got to stay light. Maybe Keel, Matt Light Keel. You can go with a Keel vodka, a little lemonade.
Okay, that is summertime.
Summertime.
I could go with that.
Yeah, little umbrella.
So
pina colada.
How's retirement treating you?
It's less painful.
Yeah,
less
imagine.
Advil. No, it's good. I'm ultimate dad right now, so I got a couple kids, and we live in the area, so I'm here doing some local Boston stuff. So it should be a interesting year. I'm excited for this next football season, and hopefully the team is regrouped and recharged and ready to make another run.
So let's go there.
Let's go there.
2018 New England Patriots.
Yes.
A lot of changes, obviously. Matt Patricia is on to Detroit as their head coach.
Yep.
What do you know about Brian Flores? I mean, everything I've heard from the players talk about him is one word: respect.
Yeah, no, I call him B-Flow because I was with him so long. So my first year in 2009, he was the assistant special teams coach, and he was always a great coach, always really smart, BC guy. So, he played the game at a high level, so you can kind of understand, the player side of things, the mental side of, the struggles that you go through as a player and the stress that you feel, trying to be the best you can be. So, he's a really good coach. I think they're going to do great this year. There's going to be a little bit of a transition there, but that's what training camp's for.
Yeah, I would expect
to try and hash that out. So
different.
I'm never going to guarantee anything because when I played, I always knew how hard it is.
Sure.
But I think that the team has a great ability to make the playoffs this year, and that's all you need. So it doesn't matter if you're a wild card, division winner. If you make the playoffs, that's what your goal is. So then you can move on through the playoffs and get to where you really want to be, and that's the Super Bowl.
So let me give you a name of a player I think is going to have a breakout season. You already know he's a tremendous player, an explosive player, but I think he still flies under the radar to me, and that's Trey Flowers. I think he is going to have breakout seasons. I think he is going to be a playmaker that really everybody in the NFL takes note of this year.
Yeah, Trey. I've been with Trey. My last couple of years. He's a soft-spoken guy. He's not going to say too much, but he's a really hard worker, and he's going to work his butt off. So, I anticipate him to have a great year. He's had 2 good, solid years under his belt, but it's not just one guy. So it's hard to be just one guy. You need other pieces.
But you see where I'm going with this.
Oh, yeah.
His explosiveness. He's a unique
but
talent.
You need guys like Trey and other guys to be working together to help him continue to excel. If it's just one player, other teams realize that, hey, these are the guys that we need to stop. So the more guys that they can have go this year that are productive and hard and disruptive, the better he's going to even be for being even more explosive. So I'm looking forward to him playing this year, and I'm looking forward to seeing other guys, what their roles are going to be, who's the outside linebackers, who are the inside guys now.
We never got a chance to see, not to interrupt you, Rob, but we never got a chance to see Derek Rivers last year.
Yeah, so I think Derek's going to have a great career, but he's got to get over the rookie one, which was unfortunately an injury, and I was able to work out with him this offseason. He's having a great rehab. I've had an ACL injury my rookie year, so I know how that can kind of mentally affect you a little bit. So, his biggest challenge this year is just going to be getting over the fact that, hey, that happened to me, and it's not going to happen again. I'm just going to go out here and play football. So I look forward to seeing him on the edge. He's a strong kid. He definitely has that first step, quick twitch. So, hopefully he can go out there and produce a lot for us this year. And, he's definitely a great kid. He's got a great head on his shoulders.
How serious were you thinking about coming back in the middle of last year?
I thought about it, but then I thought about it more and realized that
how you're feeling now, and you thought about how you might be feeling now.
I was feeling really good, and I didn't have to deal with being beat up and having the stresses of a football season. And when you play a long time, it's not easy. And New England is the only team in the NFL where a Super Bowl is normal every year.
Right.
Get to the Super Bowl. If you don't get there, it's a failed season.
I think people here forget that sometimes.
Yes.
Actually.
Other places don't even sniff a playoff game, and every year there's a playoff game. Every year there's a division, a hat and T-shirt, an AFC, championship game. So when that kind of repetitive AFC championship, Super Bowl, it can be really, really stressful. So, for me, it was like, hey, let me look at where I'm at right now. I walked off on a Super Bowl victory. Not many people can do that. So if I came back, if something happened, say I got injured, then it would be a bad way to go out after I already had the perfect walk away.
Sure. And I would assume Super Bowl 51 is the highlight. I mean, even on 49, it even surpassed 49.
No, it was one of the best games ever played. And, looking at the most recent Super Bowl, definitely upset for my guys, that weren't able to come back with a win. But, it just made me realize I made the right decision.
How anxious? You've been in that room. How anxious
do
you think Dev and Dante are to put that season, that Super Bowl game behind them?
You got to put it behind you, but it's definitely not easy. Not only to go Super Bowl, 3 in a row is very hard. So there's definitely a lot of work to be done, and hopefully these guys get into training camp, forget about last year and just move on and focus on this season.
Obviously, your image is a great one right now, and Dr. Lopresti and Dr. Leonard have helped you in that regard, and working with them. What has that meant to your image?
Yeah, no, I had male pattern baldness in my family, and my dad has no hair. So, I knew that, hey, if I can go to these guys and talk to Doc before I lose my hair, maybe there's things that can be done. And that's kind of where I come in, as I didn't have a hair transplant. I'd never had any procedures done. I just went before I felt like I was going to lose my hair and thought like, hey, is there anything I can do? And there's Capillus laser cap, there's Rogaine that you can use, there's Propecia. So there's things that you can do that if you have hair, you can keep it. you won't lose it. So if people wait too long and you have no hair, then the hard part is to get hair back. Then you have to do a transplant. So, I'm here to say you don't have to do a transplant, but just don't wait and come in as Mr. Clean and say, hey, I want a full head of hair, because that just doesn't work.
Not only here to say that, but you're obviously here for a great cause.
Yep.
The Leonard Hair Transplant Associates charity bartending event. It is to benefit Young Fight Strong for the Cancer Institute in Providence, Rhode Island, the Lifespan Cancer Institute in Rhode Island. A great cause. Rob, thanks so much for joining us.
All right, take care.
My pleasure to welcome Sebastian Vollmer here to Boston. He is, of course, in town for the charity event sponsored by Leonard Hair Transplant Associates. A great cause, Sebastian, as a matter of fact. It's for the Young Fight Strong at the Lifespan Cancer Institute in Providence. First of all, it's a charity bartending event. I have to ask you, your favorite drink to mix. You looking forward to that?
Yeah, I pour with a heavy hand. I like to serve the people. I'm, they're getting their money's worth when they come to me. So just saying, come to me. It's a good event. Dr. Lopresti's wife is actually on the charity, on the board.
Right.
And so I think any type of support, I think it's well deserved, and so whatever we can do, but also it makes it fun. It's a bartending event. You hang out with people and you serve them some drinks and loosen up their pockets a little bit. So it's a fun overall evening.
Obviously, Sebastian, you also have an affinity for kids and helping kids out. This is really an event that benefits kids and the children of mothers who are fighting gynecological and breast cancer.
Yeah, I have kids of my own, so definitely. What I think now as a former athlete, but in general, whenever you can help with your time, really, why not do it? And like you were saying, I think it's benefits the mothers, but also obviously the children and the entire family, really. So, like I was saying, A, it's a fun event, but B, if you can just really take a few hours out of your day and help somebody, raise some money, whatever you can do, I feel like you should have an obligation to do that. And obviously, it's fun. I enjoy doing it, so I have no complaints about that.
Okay, Sebastian, you look great. 75 pounds you've lost since retiring in 2016 at the age of 32. How are you enjoying retirement?
Oh, it's been awesome. Like I was just saying, I have 2 young children, daughter Annabelle and Lucas, and so that's been a blast. So obviously part of the decision to retire was health.
Yep, sure.
And part of that also is losing weight. As a chunky offensive lineman, and it doesn't really benefit you going up and down the stairs.
You made the most of that chunk.
Oh yeah, for sure. So I train differently now. I don't do the heavy weights anymore. Just trying to stay in shape and be healthy and be there for my kids. So just really kind of picking up the slack and spending more time with the family that you kind of had to neglect in the sport. So that's kind of what I'm looking forward to the most, what I've been enjoying the most.
The TB12 method?
It's probably the Sebastian Vollmer method.
Which is?
Well, it's probably similar. It's just like as a professional athlete, you just don't have to do these weights. I don't have to bench 550 pounds anymore.
Right.
It's just no point. Like, what am I going to do? Go to the gym? I go home, my wife asks me, hey, how much do you bench? I don't get any brownie points for that. So that's really, it doesn't matter. So I've really just weights the heavy big weights kind of went out the window a long time ago, and it's more about really staying active. Maybe spend an hour, maybe 2 in the gym, but that's about it. But then we spend some time in Florida too, and do some paddle boarding or something like that. Just really active guy, and that's what I try to be.
So a lot of Patriots fans, obviously, Seabass, want to know how this offensive line is going to do now without Nate Solder on the left side. You've been gone now for a couple of years on the right side. How is Dante Scarnecchia going to be able to adjust?
To me, that man is amazing, right? I feel like a lot of times he had marginal talent at best, and he made a lot of those guys really good players in this league for a long time, and he really gets the best out of those guys, including myself, right? So I got drafted here with probably not a lot of expectations and ended up doing 8 years, and it's probably because of him. He really makes you a good technician. He knows what you have to do. Obviously, having Tom, behind you helps a lot. He gets rid of the ball, all that stuff. So I wouldn't panic about any of that. And there's turnover. It's the National Football League. It happens all the time. As a friend, I don't want to see Nate go, but happy for him. Stuff like that. So I wouldn't worry.
It's a business. We hear it all the time, and that's the way of the world.
And that's what it is. And I say it all the time. If you get offered And I have no idea what the negotiation was, right? That's not on my boat, and it's between them. But I'm saying if that's a personal decision you have to make as a team and as an athlete, and that's just kind of what happens. But every year, like I feel like this conversation we have all the time. Right. It's not just an offensive line, and then it's a quarterback. I mean, I feel like talk about Tom every year. What happens if, right? Deal with it when it actually happens.
So when you hear people say Tom's his own offensive lineman, you see what people are saying, meaning he can read what the offensive line is doing in front of him, and he can make adjustments on the run.
Well, I think there is the relationship between offensive line and the quarterback is very unique, right? So Tom cannot, or any quarterback can watch the rush. Like it takes the eyes of the receiver and what he has to do. So you got to trust those guys. But if he's so fast in reading, and then you have guys, Julian or whoever else, you have the receivers that get open relatively quick, Gronk obviously, you don't have to hold onto the ball that quick, right? So even if, let's say, a tackle gets beat and it's a 10-yard sprint for the defensive end, he still has to get there before Tom lets the ball go, right? And a lot of times, as a tackle, you can get clean beat, and the ball is not there anymore. So lucky for me. Not so good for the defensive end, but he helps himself definitely, and therefore helps the offensive line for sure.
So that's great insight that you provided right there. You also provided it during Super Bowl 52 for German television. How much fun is that, and are you really considering doing that long term, Sebastian?
It's great fun. It's probably, besides coaching, the only other way to really stay involved in the sport. And, it was lucky for me that the Patriots were in it, so it's kind of easier to talk about, and you have your friends there, and you kind of just know, if you see something, you can call it as it is. So that was great fun. And then, obviously, it's German audience, so you can kind of joke around a little bit. It's maybe not quite as serious as, the American viewer and fan is, where they might have a little bit more of an opinion and knowledge of the game. So all that has been really fantastic. The crew is nice, and so for the Super Bowl we were actually there, but a lot of times they actually film or do the broadcasting out of a studio in Germany. They don't actually go to the location itself. So a lot of traveling involved, but so far it's been really great.
2014, you were still playing. Germany won the World Cup. Not so fortunate this time around. You over it?
No. It's just painful.
Yeah,
it hurts. I don't even think they've ever not made it to the group stage. So,
1938, I believe, was the last time they didn't make it.
See, that's amazing. But every great run got to come to an end, and they have been rebuilding. Obviously, they won the World Cup 4 years ago, but it's. Hey, they didn't deserve it. They weren't as good as the other teams. France won it. Good for them. Congratulations. And hey, got to rebuild for another 4 years.
As we wrap it up here, I want to get your impressions on Bill Belichick and Tom Brady for that matter. But Bill, what it was like playing for him, and how enjoyable it was playing for Bill and with Tom.
Okay, so stop with Tom. Well, stop with Bill. I think it's kind of what you see is what you get. Like, obviously, he's a very tough football coach. He knows that. He admits it. I don't think there's any secret to that. And it's all about winning, and that's okay. I like winning. That's one of the reasons why I stayed after my rookie deal was up. Stayed here, right? Winning to me is fun, and you have a great chance winning here. They've made it to the at least AFC Championship game 6-7 times now in a row.
Yep.
It's unbelievable. But it's tough. It's work. It's not like your hobby. In high school, you just go have fun and all that stuff. It's truly work. But I think that's what it requires to be good at this level. And then Tom, I love the guy. One of my all-time favorites. I enjoy playing with him. I enjoy him as a person. One of the truly great leaders. So is Bill, by the way. But I think Tom leads in a different way. Obviously, he's one of the players, not above them.
Sure.
And it's just a true teammate, and really what you are looking for in a quarterback. And I think anybody that wants to learn how to lead, hey, spend a day with him, and he expects the best out of you, but he shows you the best out of him every day.
And, by the way, I lied. This will be the final question. Dr. Lopresti and Dr. Leonard, what have they meant to you in terms of your image in public?
Well, so I haven't done any procedures with them, but I think they're a great team to really get to know what preventative measures are out there for hair loss and, any hair situation you might have. So that's been good for me. And obviously, we've been working together now for 3 years, and so far, they've been really good, and they're kind of almost like family, and they're just awesome people to hang out with and make you feel comfortable, and they're confident in what they do, and I think they're the best.
Sebastian Vollmer, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
Alongside Sebastian Vollmer, former right tackle for the New England Patriots, I'm Mike Petralia, CLNS Media. Thanks again for downloading this special Patriots Beat podcast, and thanks again to our guests Wes Welker, Rob Ninkovich, and Sebastian Vollmer, and of course the great people at Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, including founder Robert Leonard and Chief Surgeon Matthew Lopresti. For those wanting more on how to donate to the Young Fight Strong at the Lifespan Cancer Institute in Providence, visit www.lifespan.org. For Patriots content manager Mike Alonji, producer Alex Barth, executive producer Larry H. Russell, and the founder of the network, Nick Gelso, thanks to everyone who tuned in. This is Mike Petralia, and this is the Patriots Beat podcast powered by CLNS Media.